Hi there, food friends. It's Kevin.
And Marianne behind the camera.
And welcome to Cavalcade of Food. And today, Miss Marianne, we are going to make some delicious bran cherry muffins. What do you think of that?
Sounds good.
Now, I got my trusty box of bran flakes here. Let me tell you something. One of the things that makes Cavalcade of Food special is that on this channel, folks, we tell it like it TI is, okay? And I'm going to tell you that everybody needs to have some bran fiber in their diet, not just senior citizens like me, but all y'all, okay? And so there's different ways you can work that fiber in, and this is going to be a fun and delicious way to do that. What do you think of that, Mary Ann?
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So what we're going to do first is kind of mix together our dry, and we're going to mix our dries, we're going to mix our wets, and then we're going to put them together, okay?
Yeah.
Here we go. All right, so let's put together our dry ingredients first. So I've got our bran flake cereal, half a cup. We're going to put that in there. And then here's what I'm going to do, Mary. Let me give it just a little smush. Okay? Just to kind of, some of those flakes were pretty big. We know a few big flakes, don't we? Okay. Then I've got a half a cup of oats. I'm just using the old-fashioned. You could also use quick if that's what you had. Okay. Then I have got 1 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour. Put that in there. And then I have 3/4 of a cup of sugar. That's going to go in. Then in this little cup here, I've got a teaspoon of cinnamon, a teaspoon of baking soda, a teaspoon of baking powder, and a half a teaspoon of salt. All right, all that's going to go in. Now we combine. We're going to combine all these dry ingredients here. Yeah. I love muffins of all kinds, and they're fairly easy to make. And again, this is a way to get, not only are the bran flakes adding fiber, Mare, but the oatmeal adds fiber too, doesn't it?
Yes.
Okay, there's our mixed dried ingredients. Now we're going to do a little switcheroo here, all right? And in this bowl, I'm going to put in 1 cup of milk. I think that's 2%. That's what we had at home. And then I'm going to put in, this is 1/4 cup, otherwise known as a half a stick of melted butter. I'm going to put that in with the milk. So that's our fat. If you're going to have a fat, I think butter's a pretty good one to have, don't you?
Yes.
Okay. Then we need a couple of eggs. 2 eggs at room temperature. 1 and a 2. Okay. Then we're going to put in some maple syrup. 2 tablespoons. Now I'm using the real deal here, and that's what I suggest using. From the beautiful state of Wisconsin. 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. And then we need 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Okay? That butter solidified a little bit. That's okay. We'll break it down. I think when it hit the milk. So we're going to combine now these wet ingredients. Okay? Now we're going to add the dry mare to the wet. And we want to just stir that in to moisten. We don't want to overmix here. We just want to make sure that that is all absorbed. The oven is preheating to 400 degrees. Did I mention that this muffin was going to have a streusel topping? Mare?
I don't think you said that.
Okay, well, I'm saying it now. All right, so there's our wet batter, okay? Now, we're going to put that aside, and let me get my ingredients for the streusel topping. Oh, I did say these were cherry, didn't I? Here's what I've got. 1 cup of dried cherries. Now, you don't have to use dried cherries. You could use dates. You could use raisins. You could use blueberries, okay? This is what I had on hand. I'm going to put a little bit of flour on these cherries, just a little bit. By the way, people always ask about this thing. This was made by Tupperware. It's called the Jiffy Sift. Jiffy Sift. And it was made for flour or powdered sugar, things like that. Anyways, now I'm going to just coat. You know why I'm doing this, Mare?
So they don't all fall to the bottom?
You are correct. It helps to keep them suspended in the batter. So as a matter of fact, let me just put these in now so I don't forget. Okay? We will fold those cherries in the batter. Okay, now we're going to do our streusel. Okay, we are going to make our streusel topping there and have it ready. See what I'm doing? I've got a half a stick of butter here, and it's frozen. I had it in the freezer, and I'm using my box grater rather than to try to cut it up into small little pea-sized pieces. This just is easier. You just got to be careful when you're getting towards the bottom. You got to do it quickly because you know what happens to butter in your hands?
It melts.
Yeah, it warms up quick. So you just don't want to grate your fingers here. But we will get this through. Okay, good. All right, so there's the butter. So we are going to add to that a half a cup of brown sugar, here I have got 2 tablespoons of oats, 2 tablespoons of bran flakes, and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And then we need a little flour, a 1/4 cup. And then, let's just, for a little flavor boost, let's put in a little vanilla, teaspoon. Recipe, as always, is below. All right, I'm mixing this with my hands quickly. Again, I don't want that butter to get too soft, but I want to work it in to our other ingredients. Okay, so there is our yummy, buttery, sugary, oaty streusel topping. We're going to put that aside. Now, you know what that is, right?
Right.
So we have got to fill our muffin containers here. And I'm going to do this so we're going to fill, I would say 3/4 of the way up. So I'm going to keep at it, and we'll come back and streusel these muffins up. Okay, honey, we are streuseling. I got 14. Got 14 muffins out of this, and we are putting on our streusel. Just going to do a little clean up here. Okay, a couple pieces of butter. We don't want to waste that, do we?
No.
All right, so we are going to bake for 20 to 25 minutes. And then I'll do it this way. Come back with our cherry bran oat muffins. Well, we just took these out, Mare, and they sure smell good. Did the old toothpick test, so the toothpick inserted into the muffin came out clean, which is just what we want. I'm going to let these cool for a minute or two in the muffin tins, and then we'll pop them out, get them on the cooling rack, and allow them to cool down before we give one of these lovelies a try. Well, honey, I think these have cooled down enough. Don't they look nice?
Yes.
So, I think it's tasting time. So I'm going to get in here, peel off part of the parchment cup. This is fiber. I'm all in. You know how I usually use a muffin for butter delivery?
Yes.
Unnecessary in this case. These are buttery. But remember that butter I had in the streusel? Plus there was some butter in the batter. top the Streusel butter brown sugar, so you get a slightly crunchy caramel flavor. And then I just got a pop of that cherry flavor. This is a great, delicious muffin, I will say. And when we were waiting for these to cool, we were talking about it. We've made a lot of muffins on Cavalcade of Food over the years, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
That's my preference because I love them. Something I learned, muffins are not low calorie, but boy, they're good. So, all right, I'll eat that last bite. But I'll remind our food friends, Mayor, the recipe is in the description below the video. And I think there's a website we can tell them about, which is
cavalcadeoffood.com.
There it goes, cavalcadeoffood.com. Connect to all my videos there, as well as my other YouTube channel, Always Analog, and my Saturday morning radio program, Cavalcade Radio Hour, and all kinds of other great stuff right there. And I want to thank my kid sister for working the camera.
You're welcome.
And I want to thank our food friends for spending some time with us as we made these delicious cherry bran oat muffins. And I hope everybody is warm and well, and we'll look forward to seeing you again real soon here on Cavalcade of Food. Bye for now.
Bye.